Hello there, my name is Jennifer Maloney from Santa Ana College, and today I'm going to go over the Wellness Initiative Report with you from 23-24. As you know, we implemented a new incentive this past year, and we had a few objectives. One was to provide multiple pathways for students to succeed. That can include anything from improving in your fitness scores or in your health metrics and seeing some of that improvement, as well as achieving desirable health and wellness outcomes. And part of that is making sure that we can accurately and validly assess your health and fitness metrics. Another objective was to increase motivation and participation. We did this through two ways. One, we've updated some of our testing protocols. In addition, we've provided more incentives for a wider range of performance levels. And then finally, we've created a new scoring system, as you are all aware. So let's revisit what that scoring system is. We still look at the different age groups, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, etc. All students will still need to complete all tests in order to qualify for either the participation or the achievement incentives. That's the same as it's been in the past. In addition, participation and achievement incentives are now based on total points. So we've provided a range of points for participation from 5 up to just under 20 points, and then 20 points or more would earn you the achievement. We've also implemented base points. What this did is it set a minimum threshold that students could meet to still earn some points towards their total. In addition, those base points are usually based on either NFPA or ACSM, American College of Sports Medicine guidelines. But on top of that, we've also added some level up points. So this would also award points for higher levels of performance and higher levels of health metrics as well. And again, those optimal health and fitness metrics are based on NFPA as well as ACSM guidelines. So what were the outcomes this year? I know you've all been curious. I've heard some good feedback, but we want to share with you some of the data. So first of all, the changes in participation and achievement from 2022 to 2023 are this. We actually saw about an 80% increase in those individuals who got participation last year and now got achievement this year. So that was a significant increase. Overall, the total numbers, you can see from 2022 in the blue bar. In achievement, we had a 60% increase in just total numbers. You can see, consequently, the numbers of people who got participation were less, but that's not a bad thing. What we've seen is an overall increase in numbers, an overall increase in achievement incentive awards, and so overall that's a benefit to all of you. So we're excited about those numbers and glad to see some people improving and participating. Again, that meets one of our objectives, right? We really want you to find success and improve your health and fitness outcomes, and part of that is doing the assessment so you can see where you're at to be able to set realistic health and fitness goals for yourself. So thank you for your participation this year. So looking at some more specific values, looking at your lipids, in particular total cholesterol, LDL, and triglycerides. These are the values, the averages by age group. So you can see for cholesterol, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40s, and 50 and above. For the most part, everyone was about or just under the 200 recommended guideline for total cholesterol. But more importantly, if we look at LDL, under 100 is ideal. Really only one age group fell under that guideline. And then triglycerides, though, were really healthy. So we like to see triglycerides under 150. And so all the age groups on average did meet that guideline. So if we look at the incentive score for blood lipid values, the trend follows that the younger age groups certainly got higher scores. This is out of 6 possible points. And then we see some of the higher lipid values in the older age groups. And so obviously they also received less points on average. So if we look at blood pressure, resting blood pressure, you can see the metrics here. Of course, you're probably aware, right? Recommended is anything under 120 for systolic and under 80 for diastolic. 120 to 129 is now actually considered elevated blood pressure. 130 to 139 is considered hypertension stage 1, and 140 and above is considered hypertension stage 2. Most everybody was healthy or in that possibly elevated range. That is just one measurement of blood pressure, so we're not going to define hypertension based on one blood pressure reading, but it is something for you to take note of. Think about the things that could be affecting your blood pressure on a regular basis, like sleep deprivation, excessive caffeine intake, stress, of course, lack of exercise, carrying excess body weight. So really lifestyle interventions and lifestyle approaches to achieving a healthier blood pressure are always going to be recommended. So encourage you, if that affected you and you're in either the elevated or hypertensive range, we encourage you to follow up. And likewise for diastolic, really anything under 80 is going to be healthy. 80 to 89 is now considered elevated blood pressure, and 90 and above would be considered 80 to 89 is hypertension stage 1, and 90 and above is considered hypertension stage 2. All right, so if you look at the blood pressure incentive scores out of a possible 4, again, the younger age groups average 3 out of 4 for blood pressure, so doing pretty well, as we saw in the actual averages just on the last slide. And if that's an area that you want to improve on or need to improve on, I encourage you to take steps towards that. So looking at flexibility, the one metric in flexibility that we did look at towards the incentive was the sit and reach. These are the average values across the board for each age group. Every age group averaged the 2 out of 2 possible points for flexibility. So we're glad to see that. This isn't super granular in terms of the data, but it does just give some feedback. We want you to be working on your flexibility and your mobility, especially as it pertains to your hip mobility and your lower back health. If we get into the muscular fitness scores, there's a lot of metrics here, so I didn't want to get too much into the weeds, but I did want to just provide some overall average scores across the whole department. So this is not by age group, but just by test. If you look at cadence crunches, because some people did crunches, some people did the plank hold, as that was an option this year. It is a new cadence crunch test compared to what you've done in the past. So the maximum score for the cadence crunch is 90 crunches in 3 minutes, and the average is 44. So that's actually a fairly good score for those that opted for that test. For the plank hold, 2 minutes was the average, and the max score there is 3. And then for push-ups, the max score is 80. This is a test you've been doing, so you're familiar with that. And the average score was 38. I just want to pause there just because we've been doing this for so many years, and previously the incentive for push-ups was for all the tests, or most of the tests, was just a hard number. You had to meet that or you didn't get your incentive. And so this is really good representation of how maybe you would have missed that incentive by 1 or 2 reps. And now it's not the case that you don't get any kind of reward for that, or you don't get any points for that. So we're hoping that this is really encouraging you to give it your best effort when you do your assessment, because really the best way to get the most out of your data, out of your test data, is to do your best. And so that was part of why we wanted to do it this way. So we're hoping not just that you are happy with being able to earn some points, no matter where you're at, having the potential to do that, but also getting a really accurate measurement of your actual true health and fitness scores. So again, average push-up of 38. I know for some groups previously, 38 would have missed the benchmark for the achievement score, but again, now a score of 38 would still earn you some points. For the counter movement jump, that was the vertical jump on the force plates. The average was about 11.8 inches. Certainly we had a wide range from very low to very high, upwards of 18, 19 inches. Can't remember the high end of that range, but being the first year, we just wanted everybody to get a taste of it. We'll be looking at some metrics a little bit more closely and bring it back next year and hopefully see if you can improve. So the total points as well, as I mentioned, 20 and above would earn the achievement. And because so many more people earned the achievement this year, it's not surprising that the average point total was above 20. So we saw an average point total of 21, which is great to see. Again, it's encouraging that if we look at the people that were able to earn the achievement incentive this year, some of that could have been based on we need to take more time to look into the data a little more closely. And we may not be able to know for sure, but some of that could be that maybe people tried a little bit more because instead of being an all or nothing test, they knew, hey, I can at least get maybe 1 point out of this. Maybe I won't get the full 2 points, but I'm going to give my best effort and at least get 1 point. So we're hoping that this really did serve as a true incentive for you to do your best. So again, if we look at the average muscular fitness scores, y'all did really well, okay? Everybody, every age group, I should say, got an average of 8 out of 9 possible points in the muscular fitness scores. So that's encouraging. And again, we know the importance of muscle mass and muscular strength and power. So we do want to incentivize that. We do want to make sure that you're training across the spectrum, across all muscle groups. And then finally, the treadmill test. Again, these are average treadmill times across all the age groups. You can see from 20-29 on up through 50 plus the average time in minutes. And again, this is encouraging. The NFPA does have a recommendation that firefighters, incumbent firefighters, have a VO2 of around 42 mils per kilogram per minute, which would be equivalent to about a 12-minute test. So we see most groups are exceeding that level, and so want to encourage you to continue to train aerobically, asking firefighters just kind of anecdotally, what are the top fitness categories for yourself that you find most important for your job. Endurance cardio is always up there, obviously, as well as strength. And we know that benefits of cardiovascular exercise, that it needs to be a staple, right, in your programming. So we hope that this encourages you throughout your lifespan, throughout your career and into retirement to work on your cardiovascular endurance and your aerobic fitness. That is one fitness parameter that will predictably decline as we get older. Unfortunately, about 10% of our aerobic capacity is lost on average every decade after our 20s. So from age 30 on, we lose about 10% of our aerobic capacity every decade. So if you think about where you are now and where you want to be 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, throughout your retirement, making sure that you're really taking care of your cardiovascular health and fitness. All the age groups scored an average of 6 points in that incentive category, keeping in mind that actually the older age groups actually have potential to earn more points in this treadmill category. And the reason is because we wanted to identify that because of what I just said, as we get older, it's harder to maintain our aerobic fitness. So we wanted to recognize those that are in older age categories. If they went further on the treadmill, that says a lot. Maybe a 50-year-old going 15 minutes on the treadmill is a lot harder to achieve than maybe a 30-year-old going 15 minutes on the treadmill. And so there were more possible points in each successive age category, but all age categories earned on average 6 points in the treadmill category. So in summary, some great highlights from this year with the new incentive program that we implemented. Definitely more members participated this year overall. We saw a significant increase in members that were able to achieve the achievement level, move from participation to achievement. Some areas to consider for personal improvement. So LDLs and blood pressure were 2 areas that not all age categories, and again, just looking across at averages, so certainly you want to look at your own individual scores, but those were 2 areas that could potentially be an area that might have affected you, maybe affecting your health and fitness. So we encourage you to examine those, again, for improvements through lifestyle behaviors, whether that be exercise, diet, stress management, resiliency, taking care of your sleep, just taking care of yourself. Overall positive results. Triglycerides overall on average looked really good. Blood pressure in the younger age group looked healthy, so we want you to keep it that way. Through lifestyle interventions and lifestyle habits is a really key way to do that. The sit and reach, flexibility, at least in that metric, looked pretty good. Muscular fitness scores were high, and overall aerobic fitness looked high as well. This is kind of a trial run. We really wanted to approach this year with, hey, let's try this, let's see how it works. We invite your feedback. We really need your feedback to let us know what your thoughts are about it, where it can be improved, not just to help more people earn the incentive, but really to make it fair, make it equitable, and really make it accurate and valid, and to really help to incentivize people to participate at the best of their ability. Thank you for your participation again this year. It was fun being out there, and again, just those that I got to test this year, I was happy to see that you all, a lot of you seem to enjoy it, but again, we really need that feedback and welcome your feedback, so we encourage you, when given the opportunity, to provide that for us. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.